Okay, so let's say we have this word problem here. We're going to figure out the answer to this word problem. Let's see what we have here. So we have Jerry, the owner of a pizza shop, has 200 new floor tiles that cover 1 square foot each to put on the floor throughout his store. Which areas in the store can he cover with these tiles? And explain your answer. So let's think about this a little bit. We're figuring out how much can he put in, how many tiles can he put in the areas on the floor inside his store. And we know he has 200 new floor tiles and they cover 1 square foot each. So essentially, he has 200 square feet of tiles. Whenever you're dealing with a problem in math, it's really good if you have a formula that helps you out and to put that formula somewhere in your answer when you're trying to figure it out. Because we're really dealing with an area problem here. We want to know how much space can he cover on the floors of his pizza shop here. So this is an area problem. So how are we going to figure this out? Well, first of all, we're going to figure out how much area is in his store right here. And how we do that is area is equal to length times width. And what we do is, let's figure out the area of each of these components here. So let's take 7 times 6. This is the length and the width of the kitchen. So we're going to figure out what's the area of the kitchen. What's the area in square feet of the kitchen? Well, that's 7 times 6, right? So 7 times 6 is going to give us 42, right? So 42 square feet is the area for the kitchen, right? And then so now we have to figure out what's the area of the other rooms in this pizza shop. So let's do the storeroom next. Well, this is 6 times 8. So 6 times 8 feet, 6 times 8 is 48. So the storeroom is 48 square feet. We're going to put this right here. Now we have to figure out what's the square footage of the sitting area where the customers eat. What's the square footage of that? Well, we know it's 10 feet this way. It's kind of 10 feet long, but how wide is it? Because we don't have a number here. Well, because the width of the sitting area is the same as these two areas put together, the storeroom plus the kitchen, because we can see this is one kind of big square here, almost a square here. So we can go ahead and just add up the width of these two rooms to equal the width of this room. So this is 8 feet plus 7 feet, which is 15, right? So that means the area of the sitting area is 10 times 15, right? So what's 10 times 15? Well, 10 times 15 is going to be 150. That's the square footage of the customer sitting area. So now we have all 3 rooms, and all we have to do is just add this up. Let's add this up and see what this is. So 8 plus 2 is 10. We know that's 10. I'm just going to put our 0 right there. 8 plus 2 is 10. We carry over our 1. So we have 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So we're going to put our 4 right here, and then we carry our 1. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So essentially we know that he has 240 square feet in his entire pizza shop, but he only has 200 square feet of tiles right here. So which areas can he cover? So essentially he can only afford to cover 2 rooms, right? He can either afford to cover, because that's all he had, either 150 plus 48, so he can cover the seating area plus the storeroom, because that would give him 198, or he can cover the seating area plus the kitchen. That's pretty much all he has. Or he can just do the storeroom and the kitchen. It's his choice. So if we had, let's say he wants to do 150, and we'll make that a 5 here, plus 48. Let's say he wants to do the store 150 plus 48. Well, 150 plus 48, we put this right here, and I put my answer over here. That's going to give us 198, if you can see that. That's going to give us 198 square feet. So he essentially only has enough tiles, if you will, to cover 2 rooms. And I'm just going to pick 2 rooms. I'm going to say cover the seating area and the storeroom. That gives him 198, and he falls within the 204 square tiles that he actually have. So that's the answer to your question. That's how you might figure it out. Okay, so let's say we have a word problem here. We have to solve this word problem. You may get this like in school. So let's say we have a pizza shop. And this pizza shop uses exactly 293 pounds of dough each day. And it's now 3 o'clock, and it says they've used 77 pounds so far. So they've used 77 pounds so far, and the question is, how many more pounds of dough they use today? So you got to think about, how do I figure this out? So you know, they use exactly 293, and they use 77 pounds so far. So this is a subtraction problem. What you really want to find is the difference between what they've already used and what they had to start out with. So in order to do that, that's subtraction. So what we do is they have 293, right? That's what they started out with. Let me write my 293 up here. They started out with 293, and then we want to say what's the difference, right? Which is makes you think about subtraction between 293 and the 77 that they've already used. So I put 77 right here. And so now all I have to do, I don't have to figure out what I need to do is find the difference. Now all I have to do is subtract, right? I just subtract there, and this will be a regular subtraction problem. So I have 7 minus 3. What I do, obviously, is I go ahead and I cross this 9 out, and I make that an 8. I'm going to make that an 8 right there. And then from our 8, we're going to borrow this 1 and make this 13. So now I have 13 minus 7, which is going to be 6. This will give us a 6. And then I have 8 minus 7, which is going to give us a 1. And then I have 2 minus 0, which is going to give us a 2. So 216 is the answer. So they have 216 pounds of dough that they will use for the rest of the day if they use exactly 293 pounds every day. Okay, so let's say we have this problem right here. We have to figure this out. We have 54 times 78. And sometimes you don't always have a calculator with you to figure things out, so you have to do it by hand. So this is one method you might see an example that you have to figure out. So what we can do is we can break up this 54 and this 78 into component parts. So I have the 70 and 8, so obviously 70 plus 8 is equal to 78. Then I have the 50 and the 4 right here. 50 plus 4 is equal to 54. So we've broken them out, right, into component parts. And now all we have to do is multiply each part by each part. So let's see how we do this, right? So first we have the 50, and we're going to multiply the 50 times 70. And I know that's going to be 3,500. Because I know the 7 times 5 is 35, and it's kind of like 2 tens. It's going to be 2 zeros here. That's going to be 3,500. And now I have to figure out what's 50 times 8, right? So I'm just going to take this and copy this over here. 50 times 8 is going to be 400. Because I already know that 4 times 5 is, 8 times 5 is 40. I know it's going to be extra 0 there. This is 8 times 50 is going to be 400. So 50 times 8 is going to be 400. Now let's figure out 4 times 70. What is that going to be? What's 4 times 70? And if I do my math right, I know that 4 times 70, and maybe you can get it as well, is going to be 280, right? That's 280. So 4 times 70 is 280. Now the last thing I need to figure out, what's 4 times 8, right? So 4 times 8 is going to be, let me drag this right here. 4 times 8 is going to be pretty easy. 4 times 8 is going to be 32. So now I have my component parts. I have 3,500, 400, 280, and 32. Now all I have to do is add these all up. So let me go ahead and add these all up. I'll drag this down here. I have 3,500 right here. And then I have 280, which I'm just going to put right here and line that up. I have 400. Let's drag this 400 down here and line it up. And then I have 32. I'm going to line that up as well. So now I can simply do some addition here and make sure I can add this all up. So what I'll do is put this right here, put a little addition right here, and then what we'll do is we'll add it. So 0, 0, 0 plus 2, that's going to be equal to 2. And I'll make sure I put my plus sign here so we know that we're adding here. That's 0, 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. All these is 8 plus 0, 0 plus 3 is 1. It's going to be 11. And I carry my 1 right here. Remove that. Carry that 1 right there. And so that's going to be 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 4 is 12. And I'm going to put that right there and carry another 1. And then I have 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4,212, that's the answer to this problem. 4,212. I just put this right here. If I want to know what the answer to 54 times 78 is actually equal to 4,212. And this is a way you can figure it out.